I'm Lisa Welsh, and I was the Communications Manager for WAS 2021. And today I'm delighted to welcome Dr. Patti Britton, who I'm a big fan of, to talk with us today. So I'm a little bit fangirling over here. Welcome, Dr. Patti. It is a real pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you so much. And it's a pleasure to be sharing today about this amazing Congress that happened. And I'm here to really promote not just our symposium, but also to say anyone who works in sexology in any facet, really, if you haven't already accessed the content, go get it now. It's available until the end of the calendar year. I have never been so moved and impressed by not just the intellectual research and the information that was shared, but the heart. The sense of heart and caring and love and humanity as the focus was just so touching. So anyway, I'm here to say that to everybody.
I feel that deeply. So Dr. Patti, for anybody who is not already familiar with your work, please could you share a little bit more about you and what you do?
Sure. So I'm Dr. Patti Britton. I'm a board certified clinical sexologist. I've been an academician, I'm a speaker, I'm an author, I've done a lot of media. And I also am proud to say that I'm the founder of the profession known as sex coaching, in the modality in which I train professionals around the world. I'm kind of known as the mother of sex coaching. So as a sexologist, it's very important that we stay up to date and that we also understand the nuances of our profession, because it's so complex and vast as is sex. And so I think it's so important that we're having this conversation today about accessing the Congress as it is online.
Absolutely. And so you took part in an invited symposium, and you also presented at WAS 2021. Please could you share a little about the symposium to start with?
Absolutely. Well, I'm proud to say that for the second Congress in a row, we have been an invited symposium on the topic of sex coaching and its ramifications and its implications. And this Congress, I will read it. This is a very long title. It was a multifaceted symposium that we titled Cross-Cultural Implications for Clinical Practices and Social Change toward the advancement of sexual wellness. And this is all from a sex coaching perspective. All of the speakers and presenters at this symposium, there were 6 of us in all, 5 different presentations, are all trained and certified as sex coaches or just about to earn their certification through Sex Coach University. So it was such an extraordinary opportunity to present not just about how sex coaching works, but some of the nuances that really inform it as a modality for client work, but also, it's interesting, I'm going to say it this way, as a philosophical approach to sexual wellness. And that's the term that I love to use, because that's really the field that we're all in, is wellness. And so the symposium was comprised of 5 different presentations. The first was myself and Dr. Nawachi Tafari, a clinical sexologist and a certified sex coach, and many other things, one of the most brilliant people I've ever met. And together we deconstructed the MEBS model, which is my 5-part holistic system for doing client assessment and creating action steps. In coaching, we don't use the terminology of diagnosis and treatment, but rather assessment and action planning. And we looked at the evidence-based approach. We looked at all of the evidence, and there's a lot that substantiates MEBS, mind, emotion, body, energy, and spirit, as the pivotal foundation for how we can work with clients, because those actually are the 5 parts of the sexual self. So neuroscience, psychology, anthropology, coaching itself, there's a lot of evidence and research now. Shall I go on?
I would love to hear you talk about this all day. I mean, it is fascinating, but maybe you could give us a little teaser of the other parts of that symposium, because
exactly.
we want to watch this.
So the MEBS model is the foundation for how I train professionals, and it's a really easy to learn but complex system for working with the sexuality of our clients and our students, and actually it can be applied to many other realms as well. So that was Symposium presentation number one. I'm not going to be going in order because I'm doing this from memory, but I want to say that the other four presentations were stellar and they were so different, so diverse. One was the most extraordinary presentation by one of our graduates who is a medical doctor and a certified sex coach in Botswana. Her name is Karaba Fwatwani. I always mispronounce her name. We joke about it. And she's brilliant. And she is making change in Botswana in the medical care system and in how that system addresses and looks in particular at female sexuality, empowerment, and entitlement for pleasure. We also had a speaker, Dr. Selena Chris from Germany, who spoke about BDSM, kink, and fetish play, absolutely anchoring it on consent and looking at how a scene begins with consent and negotiation and all of that rich communication that really informs the BDSM experience. The other presentation we had was Dr. Noralyn Parker, also a certified sex coach and a sexologist. Both Dr. Selena Chris and Dr. Noralyn Parker are on the team at Sex Coach U. And Selena presented BDSM, but Noralyn presented on her specialty, which is the integration of the use of cannabis and sexuality, sexual healing, sexual wellness, and pain, sexual pain, and libido, and all other aspects. Oh, that was such a phenomenally exciting and interesting presentation. And the last presentation was by Genevieve Berman, who is one of the founders of a new initiative called Transverse, which is a new media platform that is presenting really such a diverse range of issues and topics and opportunities for the trans communities around the world to intersect and to gain information and also receive coaching. So that was the symposium. It was utterly amazing. I could cry. I'm so proud of my students and my colleagues. And it was just such a rich experience for us all. So I hope you'll all go check it out.
Absolutely. I mean, goodness me, the amount of value in just that one symposium alone is actually staggering. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. And that was all from memory, like you said. I can see the passion just coming through.
And as the CEO and the leader of Sex Coach U, I found that this symposium was a great opportunity to bring together some of the greatest minds and some of the greatest practice standards in sex coaching and maybe in sexology worldwide to have a robust and rich presentation and really provoke discussion. So I think that you'll get a lot of value out of taking a look at and listening and watching this symposium.
I have no doubt at all. Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Patti. Please, could you tell us, who do you think would most benefit from taking the time to watch this symposium?
Well, you know, the WAS Congresses are really designed for anyone working in sexology. And what I love about WAS, and I'm a former advisory committee member, and now I'm on other committees as a retired AC committee member, is that the mission of WAS is to promote sexual health and sexual rights. And this particular symposium really embraces both of those when we think about trans advocacy, when we think about advocacy for sexual health and new narratives in Botswana. And when we look at the clinical aspects, of course, we're talking about the MEAB system, we're talking about a clinical assessment and really developing where that we take that client as a sex coach, but we're also talking about integrating the use of cannabis as a healing modality. And we're talking about BDSM, kink, and fetish play, which is absolutely intrinsic to our understanding of human sexuality and behavior and expression. So anyone who is a clinician, anyone who is an educator, and I really believe that anyone who is an advocate for sexual rights can derive benefit from watching this symposium. So I hope you'll all take a look.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for going into detail and giving us that teaser. So anybody who did register for WAS 2021 has access to this until the end of the year. Now, that is still just over 2 months. Make sure you don't let that time slip by because we know how quickly this year is going. But if you have not signed up yet for the Congress, you can get access to all of the content for a ridiculous price of only $50 now. $50 for all of this. So please, I'm going to put the link in the bio below if you would like to access this symposium and everything else from the WAS 2021 Congress. Please go ahead and join now. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us this morning, Dr. Patti, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.